Yeah, we used to sneak out at night.
That was a legal adventure. We were never allowed to see each other again, actually. Well, we had a very quiet night here last night. We got a good sleep. I set up a game cam, a trail cam, and I want to see if I got anything on it. The batteries were pretty dead, so there may not be anything at all on it, but we'll check it. Okay, so it appears the only thing wild that I got there was Linda. But I'll show you some other stuff. Right next to our trailer, there's all these tracks. And this one's pretty obvious, it's a deer. Pretty darn big deer, though. Not sure of this one. Of course, it's pretty muddy. It could be just a double deer track or something like that. And a very large bird, like a sand crane kind of a bird or who knows what. Three-toed, but I don't know. It's big. Well, yesterday was a dark, dreary day, all day, morning till night. So it's nice to see the sunshine today. It's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow, too. Hope so. Today, Linda and I want to get out and walk this preserve, do some exploring. I don't know if you can see all the pink blossoms through here, but they're mighty pretty anyway. We almost hit a wild turkey yesterday. Ran across the road right in front of us. Another car coming the other way, so I couldn't change lanes. Wow, but that was a big bird. That wouldn't have been good at all. But anyways, thank goodness we got trailer brakes these days, because that sure helped. Well, we started down this trail last evening, just after we parked here, and it looked interesting, so Linda and I want to follow it on down. And this side is private land, and I can see across this field, way over there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a deer stand over there. With all these oak trees and all these acorns, I bet you they got some pretty good sized deer here.
Boy, these trees are just amazing, aren't they?
They are. Oh, oaks. Now, I know this may come as a surprise to you guys, but this is actually the first time that Linda and I have been in an all-deciduous forest. No fooling. I mean, we've been in alpine areas, we've Pacific Northwest, Montana, all the evergreens, the firs and the pines and everything like that, but we've been in jungles in different places. This is the first time we've been to a deciduous forest. I kid you not, it's true. I mean, look, these are oak leaves. Well, go see what we can find here. Well, there's animal trails everywhere through here. Must be a lot of deer in the woods. There's my deer right there, dear Linda.
Boy, it's just like in the fairy tale drawings, yeah, with the bark coming out like that.
It's all amazing for us, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So the other trees that I've been impressed by were the old-growth koa trees in Hawaii.
Oh, you know what? Koas, ironwoods, and eucalyptus. That is a deciduous forest that we've been in the upper elevations, the higher elevations of Hawaii.
Yeah, Mauna Kea and Haleakala.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been impressed by those trees, the bristlecone pine trees.
Nevada.
And yeah, those were impressive. And then these, they're like, wow.
It's a pretty steep hill going down here. We could slide down on these leaves. And watch our step. Well, we came to this creek. It's flowing pretty good. See if we can make our way down to the bank.
You see anything in there?
We should look from up here, see if we see any fish. Look how high the water comes. This is all high watermark stuff. And this has got to be 15 or 20 feet above this creek bottom here. So yeah, this water can flow. That would fill up this whole area here with a rush of water.
I wonder when the last time it did that.
I don't know. Yeah, see it all stuck up in the tree here? Wow! Did you happen to leave any breadcrumbs?
No, you ate them, remember?
Let's see if we can find our way back. Well, I had my shadow on the left side, now I'm putting it on the right side, so we should be all right. Over there or over there? They look about the same.
I agree. Down. It's either over there or over there.
Okay, well, if we go up over here.
In the middle?
Yeah, and we come to that fence line, that would be that private property, so then we'll know where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. Yeah, Linda just found this foundation stone here. Off of something, and then over here.
Oh, look. The Sasquatch shelter.
Over here, there's concrete blocks. There's a Sasquatch hut right there. Probably a
blind or something.
A blind for hunters. But definitely signs of habitation, these concrete blocks. And there was something built here. There's more foundation stones. And further over in the woods, Linda found a foundation for like a cabin or something. Probably really old, from the old days. People would have built out here for maybe summer vacation or for hunting, something like that. Hard to say. But it's just all wildlife preserve now. Walking through these woods reminded me of a story. I was living at the time in Moses Lake. You know, I was about 12 years old. We lived out in the country right on the lake. And do you remember that house a couple properties down, that little brown house?
Yeah.
Well, in that house, there was 2 boys living there. One's name was James, and he was about 1 or 2 years older than me. And then his older brother, Burl, who was 16 at the time. Well, one evening, kind of late, James and Burl showed up at my house, and they were really excited because a boat had blown up on their shoreline. And we went down to look at it, and here was this old rowboat, and all busted up, and it had 1 oar in it.
Treasure!
Treasure, yeah, for a kid. So we got in that boat, and we headed across the lake because we'd always wanted to go to the other side. We'd never been there. On the other side of the lake was this steep embankment. It went up probably 75 or 100 feet high, and we didn't know what was on top.
It was a long ways across the lake too, wasn't it?
It was at that point. I don't know how far exactly, but it took a little while to get to the other side. Well, when we got to the other side, a wind had come up from the direction we needed to go to get back home. And with that 1 oar, we couldn't make any headway against the wind at all. So we went back to, now we're stuck on the other side. And the older boy, Burl, he managed to sit in the bow of the boat with a narrow bow and paddle like a canoe. He lifted the stern out of the water, and he could go back across that way, but he couldn't take James and I with him, or he couldn't make it. So he went back to report our predicament. And well, now it's like dark, and it is dark. And James and I made our way to the top of the hill, and way off in the distance we could see a single light of a farm some miles away. and we started walking to that farm. And it was pretty late when we got there, and we knocked on the door. Old farmer and his wife, and they were very nice to us, and we asked if we could use their phone, and I called my dad, and the farmer explained to my dad exactly where we were, and my dad, it was a long way into town, and then north out of town, up the highway, and then back through the countryside to that particular farm. It was a long ways. My dad came and picked us up and took us back. My dad never said a word to me. When we got back, starting the very next day, James was never allowed to see me again, obviously having told his mother that it was my idea, and it wasn't. It was his idea.
It's always the other kid's fault.
Yeah, exactly. We were never allowed to see each other again, actually. And the thing was that I didn't get in any trouble at all. My father was all for a good adventure, and that was a legal adventure. He was all for that. I never got scolded, nothing. He was just happy as a clam. Adventuring was good.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to sneak out at night. I think my sister was, last time I saw my sister, I asked her how old she was when she said she was 12, which would have meant I was 8. And my brother was 11 or 10.
Well, tell them about the area where you lived.
Well, it's a lot like parts of Montana in the desert. It's rolling hills with kiawe trees, mesquite, and tall grass.
And you had that steep mountain, or
steep mountain
on to the west of where you were
the
raised.
Mahana Hill. Mm-hmm. It went way up, and we had no neighbors. We lived in the middle of nowhere. It was ranch land, so if we did have neighbors, it would be the cattle that came through. Oh, we prepared for this. We made little lanterns out of cans with candles and a wire bale to hold it.
This was a pre-planned escapade.
Yeah. And then at night, we'd sneak out through the window because we had those old screens held by a hook. You know, you push it out and you can go out the window, climb down. And we'd walk out over the cattle guard, way down on the dirt road in the kiawe trees, the mesquite trees, and my sister was the one that was in charge of building a fire.
She was the older one.
Yeah.
You were the baby of the family.
Yep. So my job was to go gather firewood.
She's still the baby.
And my brother brought food. I don't know where he scrounged food from, but probably stole it out of the fridge. And we'd build a fire in the middle of the night, out in the dry woods, kiawe trees.
Lucky you didn't burn the place down.
I know. Now that I think back on it, yeah, we were lucky. And I don't know how my older sisters didn't know that we did something, because I'm sure we came back smelling like smoke.
Yeah, and dirty. Well, cool.
Happy as clams.
So you see, Linda was an adventurer too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
8 years old.
That's actually what brought us together, but that's another story. Well, okay, we're back. But now it's time for some lunch. Hey, what's for lunch?
Good old Hawaiian favorite, chili and rice.
I like that. Linda's she likes to make rice in this little 12-volt rice cooker here.
Nice.
And that works. We've had that for, I don't know, several years now. That works really great. And let me show them the kind of chili we got. That's our favorite kind of chili.
This brand.
That Stag brand. And what's your favorite kind of chili? Now that one right out of the can that we just showed you, that's it's okay, but Linda spices it up. A little salt, a little hot sauce, and that, because it's a little bland, but not bad. The what's in it is really good though. The beans and the meat is really good in it. What's your favorite chili? I'd like to know. If you'd please leave us a comment down below.
Some people like corn in their chili too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. And people from Hawaii eat it they put mayonnaise on the chili. You put your rice in the bowl, you put chili on top, and then you put a dollop of mayo.
I don't know, it kind of sounds good to me.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. But I do agree with putting mayonnaise on your rice because Hawaiians, a lot of Hawaiians like I grew up with,
You know, a lot of Hawaiians are pretty big too.
we ate rice with mayonnaise on it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was stunted.
You know, people always ask us what we cook, and the truth of the matter is, we don't do camping like that. You know, if you go camping, then you're going to build a fire and bring a Dutch oven and cook up all kinds of things. And we generally don't do that. We're mostly a traveling channel. And so meals are pretty simple, like the chili and rice that Linda's cooking right now. She makes some fantastic stir fries, and at home things are different. you know, our daughter, Samurai Mama, is a great cook. So there's a lot of cooking that goes on at home. On the road, we keep it kind of basic. Now, that being said, there are a series of recipes that I want to try. One of you out there sent me this book, Nessmuk, Woodcraft and Camping. Now, Nessmuk was George W. Sears, and he was the father of lightweight, ultralight camping, trying to get by and successfully getting by for long stays in the woods with a minimum of gear. You have no idea how much I love this book. This is a fantastic book. But in this book, he talks about his camp recipes, and I am determined to try every one of them. Now, when I do that, I'm going to bring you along for that. Speaking of hot sauce, my nephew turned me on to this. It's Marie Sharp's smoked habanero pepper sauce. Now, it's kind of hot. It's not medium. It's a little hotter than medium, I'd say. Everybody's different, but it's really smoky. So this goes really well in chili, although the smoke flavor can overpower some other dishes. When I get home, I'm going to order some of their original sauce that's not smoked. But they make all different kinds. This is really good, though. I just shook it up so you can see that it's thick.
Wow, ooh, hot. Here you go.
Ooh, they look good, and sour cream on the top too.
Yeah, it's not mayonnaise, it's sour cream.
Oh, very nice, Linda. Thank you.
We have some shredded cheese too if you want on there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're just going to have lunch and then we're driving out of here. We'll see you around.